All right, shalom, shalom, Yasharala. Back at it again with another Lord with an edifying video through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rachak Wadash. Before I go any further, I want to give all honor and all glory and all praises to our Heavenly Father and to His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rachak Wadash. And next up, double honors to our apostles and our elders, a great millstone who still go out there in the highways and hedges and feed us with the 100% truth according to the Bible and Heru well and Shalom, Labachariam, Wabarakiam, Shaya Shirala, which is peace and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel and the Lashawan Kwadash, the Hebrew tongue. And this lesson is going to be centered around, or going to be called, the Lord will personally bring us to our land. All right? When Yahweh Shah, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, returns, he's the one that's going to deliver his elect, and bring them back to their own land. And we're hoping to be those men. All right, so this is the book of Ezekiel 37, verse 21. And it says, and say unto them, thus saith Yahweh power, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen. Now, who is the heathen? The heathens are the other heathen nations. All right, starting off with the so-called white man Esau, Edom, on down to the Japhites, which are the so-called Samoans, Polynesians, the Aborigines of Australia, so on and so forth, right? It says, whether they be, or wherever they at, whether they be gone, and I will gather them on every side and bring them into their own, and bring them into their own land, right? And this prophecy has not been fulfilled yet, because this prophecy is going to be fulfilled when Yahweh Shah returns, who the world English calls Jesus Christ, right? So those Edomites over there, the 1948ers, all right, that don't fit them, man. You see? Because where's Yahweh Shai? Where's King David? You know? As a matter of fact, let me grab this quick precept. This is the book of Matthew 24 and 31. It says, and he shall send his angels with the sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect, which the word elect goes back to chosen to be to be high ruling class, right? It pretty much goes back to chosen. And it says, from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. All right. So that's what Yahweh Shah is going to do. He's going to come back with the angels and those so-called UFOs to beam up his elect, to deliver them and bring them back to their own land. And that main deliverance is going to be over here in America, but it's also going to be in the four corners of the earth, wherever the elect is, right? The men of the Lord. So back in Ezekiel 37 and 21, he says, and say unto them, thus saith Yahweh power, I will take the children of Israel, which consists of all 12 tribes, from Judah, the so-called Negroes, all down to the Issacharites, the so-called Mexicans. And yes, they are the children of Israel, man. They're the part of the 12 tribes, right? And it says, from among the heathen, whether they be gone, it will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land. It says, and I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, that's the elect, and one king shall be king over them all, and they shall no more be two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms any more at all, right? But the main point was at 21, all right? The Lord is going to bring us into our own land, all right? So, yeah, when Yahweh Shah returns, he's going to set King David underneath him. You see, then you're going to have the 12 patriarchs, and then you're going to have the elect, all right? Which were all part of the house of David, if we're of the elect from the 12 tribes. So now let's go to the book of Ezekiel 29. It's like Ezekiel 39 and 21. And it says, and it says, and I will set my glory among the heathen, and all the heathen shall see my judgment which I have executed, and my hand that I have laid upon them. And it says, and so the house of Israel shall know that I am Yahweh their power from that day forward. And it says, hold on. think I read the wrong one. Okay, I read the wrong precept. Salakia. It says this is Ezekiel 39:27. When I have brought them again from the people and gathered them out of their enemies' lands, right? See, because who's our enemies? The other heathen nations, starting off with Esau, Edom, the so-called white people, right? Beginning with their elites, and we're scattered through these other nations' lands, man. They're our enemies. And it says, and I am and am sanctified in them in the sight of many nations. So the word sanctified goes back to holy. All right. And it says, and they shall know that I am Yahweh their power, which caused them to be led into captivity among the heathen. Right. Yahweh Shem Shah, who the word because God and Jesus Christ was the one that put us in the captivity underneath these heathens, right? For our disobedience. And it says, but I have gathered them into their own land, and have let none of them any more there. Right? See? So this is a future prophecy that haven't been fulfilled yet, because the Lord will personally do this. When you look at the word personally, I got that definition. It says in person. Attend to the matter personally. So he's going to attend to the matter personally. He's going to personally, in person, he himself, Yahushua, is going to deliver his elect in the so-called UFOs, chariots, and, is going to be the one to bring us back to our own land. All right? So, especially, to clean up the filth and the pollution that's over there, man. So, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 1. It says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers, which are Israelite foreigners, the scattered Israelites, shall be joined unto them, and shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Yep. So the elect of the nation of Israel is everywhere in these different countries, man. But the main deliverance and destruction is going to be here in Babylon the Great, which is America. So Yahweh Shah, who the word calls Jesus Christ, is going to deliver his elect within the 12 tribes, and bring them back to their own land, which we're hoping to be those men. All right. So now, hold on. Okay, so now let's go to the book of Isaiah 11, verse 11. And it says, and it shall come to pass in that day, future prophecy, that the Lord shall set his hand again, the second time, to recover the remnant of his people, which remnant is synonymous with the word elect. All right, because the word remnant means leftover. The ones that's going to be left over after the destruction is the elect of the nation of Israel. All right, because the 2/3 of our people, according to Zechariah 13:8, in America is going to be destroyed. It says, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, which is Babylon, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea, which ancient Babylon, goes back to Iraq. All right. And it says, yeah, so that was pretty much it. As a matter of fact, let me read a commentary on that. It says, this is Isaiah 11:11 in the commentary. It says, when will this remnant of God's people, or Yahweh Shemel Shah's people, be returned to their land? Old Testament prophecy often applicated both to the near future and the distant future. Wait a minute. So if those Edomites that's over there in our land now are the real Jews, so to speak, why did it say in the distant future? All right, because this sword was written in 1989, and they got put over there in 1948. So even scholars know that this prophecy hasn't been fulfilled yet. So that means that they're false over there in that land. And it says, in the ages to come, however, Yahweh Shemashah's people would be dispersed through the world, right? See, which happened. And it says, ultimately, they would be regathered when Yahweh Shai comes to reign over the earth, right? They're going to be regathered, starting with the elect of the nation of Israel. So scholars even know that this prophecy hasn't been fulfilled yet. All right. So, Yahweh Shem Shah, who the word calls God of Jesus Christ, is going to come back and set us in our own land. If it be of the elect, the first fruit, when we get delivered and beamed up out of here. All right. By the so-called UFOs, the chariots, from the destruction, from that nuclear destruction that the Lord is going to be bringing. So, hey, Lord's will, that was edifying through the spirit, power, Yahweh Shem Shah, Shem Achakwadash. Lord's willing, until next time, I say Shalom.